conjunction with the unions to increase the overall productivity. I understand that there has been a lot of problem with the union, and I hope that with Victor Cairo coming as a new CEO will smoothen the relations and will build the company back to make a very strong company with a very high productivity and work with the union and its leadership to improve the relations. Today we have $50 to $60 disadvantage over our competition in the long products, purely because of productivity issues. So we need to resolve this. We cannot continue to remain uncompetitive. Last night, Victor conveyed best regards from the Uritio. I said, he sends his best regards to me for what? He's not helping us to improve the productivity. So I hope that we can. Uritio is the union leader in Mexico, by the way, for those who don't know. And I have known his father since 89, 90, and now he's in exile sitting in Canada, and he's operating this union from Canada. So then in Trinidad, we have to find a sustainable market for DRI. Reliability is also an issue, and operational stability has to be brought in Trinidad. And I think Robert is doing a good job. He has brought in some stability in the business, and is trying to work with the union. He's trying to bring smooth operations right from DRI to the port, because port has also been bottleneck. I think that it is very important that we work through the whole cost chain. And this has to be done through the fixed cost, variable cost, and SG&A. Some of our business in emerging markets where labor cost can be low, but it does not mean we can afford to be inefficient. In ArcelorMittal, we have so much of benchmarking, we have so much of skill, we have so much of know-how that no one else has in the industry. And we have to make sure that whether it is a Trinidad, whether it is a Mexico, everyone should make maximum use of this vast bank of knowledge. I used to talk to McKinsey a couple of years back, and they have access to some of our people and our businesses and the knowledge. And one of the senior partner of McKinsey once told me that ArcelorMittal has the biggest knowledge in the industry. And he also said to me that ArcelorMittal has one of the best management team in the industry. That is an outsider perspective about the company. I'm also concerned about the OPEX. I think that OPEX is not being efficiently targeted. It is in a capital constrained environment, it is essential to get the most from our existing assets. Reliability of existing equipment is a matter of effective maintenance. We know how to do this in our company. Best maintenance practices are well defined. We do face reliability issues, also in Latin America, but this is not because we are underspending on R&M. Our spending is still above benchmark levels, so this is an important opportunity both to increase productivity and reduce cost and invest OPEX to improve the health of the equipment. You should fight more for OPEX than for CAPEX. Once you have a stability in your plant, I think the life becomes much more easier for everyone. Finally, everywhere I go, I tell people you have to focus on being better than competition. The competition in Latin America is excellent. Gerdau, Usiminas, CSN, all these companies with good assets, strong management, and ambitious plan. Earning $200 EBITDA is not such a great achievement if the competition is earning $250. It's all relative. Productivity of 3,000 ton, which we are talking in Juiz de Fora or some of the plants, does not look quite as impressive The competition in Megasa, for example, in Portugal is 3,500 tons. I want to reinforce this message here. Many of you are among the best performers in the group. Your contribution is very important, and I want to congratulate you on the performance. But the most important comparison is how you perform against the competition. Not all our operations have the opportunity to make us $150 per ton today due to market challenges, but everyone has a chance to beat the competition. And this is my most important message. And recent examples, we have seen that some of our plants have been starting to perform better than competition. This slide, I think, is a good case to show that how long products in Latin America have starting to beat competition Gerdau. So whatever the challenges, I think if we put our heads together, I have great confidence in your ability to overcome them. I have always been very impressed by the motivation of our employees in this region. You have passion. You have motivation. You are motivated. You want to do something. And this is what we need. That is the 50% of our solution. Then where are we now? Then on the people, coming to people, the question also asked you to talk about the strengths and weakness of your business. Perhaps unsurprisingly, people came up often as one of the strengths, people. So we all recognize in our questionnaire that people are our strength. I was interested to read that bureaucracy is considered as one of the many weaknesses. And we had we had the same situation in Europe also when we had this kind of survey done. Earlier in my speech, I explained that our strategy has 3 pillars. But equally, there are 5 enablers: license to operate, a strong balance sheet, a decentralized organization structure, active portfolio management, and the best talent. But these are all important, but you have raised the challenge of bureaucracy. I will talk a little bit about the importance of decentralized organization structure. The scale and scope of ArcelorMittal is one of our defining features, and if harnessed correctly, an important source of competitive advantage. But it can also introduce complexity and lack of accountability. I agree that we are bureaucrat. There is an amount of bureaucracy because our organization is very complex. And we are inheriting merger of 32 companies to make ArcelorMittal. So there are a lot of different cultures, way of working, people, talents, career plans. So there is a bureaucracy and there is a complexity, and we want to unbundle the complexity. Last night we had a discussion with your senior management, and they all talk about 2 things: bureaucracy and corporate intervention and corporate requirements of documents, informations. It is nothing new. I've been hearing this for the last 6 months, and we have been thinking very seriously how to make your life easier as well as my life easier. I said last night, and I'm saying again, that we are continuously working. We are looking for your suggestions. How do we improve our lives? We don't want you to do extra work for corporate office requirement. When there is a business area review meeting, I heard yesterday that you have to go back, and nights and days you spend making the presentation for bar for 150 pages. You don't know what question GMB and specifically everyone accused Mr. Mittal will ask. So don't be scared. I said to you all There's nothing to be scared. We are all human. We are all working in the same industry. We want to have the same information. You should be scared if you don't know how you are running a business. Sometimes I ask a stupid question, what is the average thickness of your hot rolled coil? But this is important to understand what is your productivity per hour based on that average thickness. I learned it, I did not know also. I learned it from Dale Wearsby, who was our CEO of Finland. He used to tell me that productivity of Indiana Harbor Mill is 5.2 million ton based on 3.8 millimeter thickness. So this is why I asked you this question. Because someone taught me to ask this question. Perhaps it helps. As I said, I do not want new information. I want the information with what you work, because you are the leader. If you are running with insufficient information, don't prepare for me. If you have to prepare additional information, which means that you do not have all the information, or you think it is unnecessary, then tell us. I can make a comment that I said, if you are doing your every month business area review, just send us the minutes of that review when we ask for a review. Say, what is your challenge? You are seeing as a leader, what is the solution you are proposing? That's all. Alert us, don't keep us in dark. If you have a solution, it's great, you have to find a solution. So do not prepare any additional document for corporate office. That is the first thing we have to do. Second, we have segments, we have long, we have flat, we have mining, we have distribution, we have wire. All these are different. We are working as a segments. It's a time for ArcelorMittal and all the top leaders sitting together to discuss what is a better way of managing ArcelorMittal business. Whether segment is a good idea, whether geography is another better idea, whether LATAM is a good idea, or America is a better idea, or Europe is a better idea. We do not know the answer yet. But we are working very seriously on this. Like we have someone last night mentioned, Victor Caro from Mexico, that he gets very confused because he has to read 3 reports, one for the long, one for the mining, and one for the flat, and he's responsible for all and he's responsible for nothing. So we want to take out all this confusion. We will have one report if it is for Mexico. We want to have one report for Brazil, one report for Argentina, so that all of the leaders in those countries should be able to have a holistic view about the whole country, bring the synergies, reduce the corporates, work together as a team. As I said, I was sitting with the Nucor CEO, myself and Lou, and we started him asking the question, how many people you have in the corporate? Because we used to hear at the time of Iverson, they used to have 30. Their bureaucracy has increased, so they have now 82. So I asked someone from Brazil, how many people we have in Belo Horizonte office? He says 200. Then I got an explanation that if you have 8 people in legal in United States, we should have 96 people in legal in Brazil. So we understand those challenges. But as long as we are careful, we are able to explain all this, that why we have so many people in Belo Horizonte and why Nucor can live with 82, why ArcelorMittal have 200 people in London office is fine. But if we think that we need this for our power or for our what you call our seats, that's not acceptable. So let us work together to find a solution to resolve bureaucracy, corporate interference. You need, we are a global company. We need some global oversight to help you, to steer you, to bring excellence. And this we will continue to do. But we want you to empower you, make you responsible for your business, take decisions on the spot. You don't have to shuffle papers between one point to another. Sebastian said that to make a proposal, he has to make a proposal to Canada, Canada makes to Luxembourg, Luxembourg makes to London, from London it goes to IAC, then comes back to London, Luxembourg, Canada, Brazil, mine. We don't want all this. We have to tighten everybody. We have to make straight lines so that people can directly interact, quick decisions, no delays. You should scream for this. I support you. I support you. You should be able to say no. You are very kind that you keep on providing informations, whatever we want. Because 500 people sitting in Luxembourg and London, they also need some job, you know. If they don't have the job for the day, if they don't ask you 5 emails and 5 telephone calls, somebody will be saying, what the hell is he doing in the office? He has to have a secretary, 2 secretaries, or 1 secretary. So they have to generate work. So we have to also look into this. I'm with you. I'm with every segment to reduce complexity, corporate interference, because we have to create value. Markets are challenging. Everyone is changing. So before I conclude, I like to make one point. While we have all the challenges, while we have all the opportunities, and while we are delivering all these results, we also want to appreciate, recognize, and motivate you for your efforts. We have made changes to the long-term incentive plan, and we are updating the incentive plan to increase the number of PSUs for VPs and EVPs and add PSUs for GMs. This communication will be going out next week. We have delayed it a couple of weeks, but it should have gone end of September, but we are a little bit late, but it will go next week. And further, we want to improve the long-term incentive plan, and we are working on a new proposal to be submitted to AGM in 2014. Adit and myself were in Chicago last week, or 2 weeks, and we were discussing with the US team. Then idea came that whether we should have a regional incentive scheme based on the culture, motivation, engagement, leadership, or we should have a ArcelorMittal global incentive scheme. When I talked to Nucor CEO, he has a global Nucor incentive scheme, majority of this. But I don't think whether it is 100% applies to ArcelorMittal. So we are reconsidering whether we should ask you to give us your regional view. What do you think that what will excite and motivate people in Latin America with their incentive schemes, whether we need to change it? So we can have 5 different schemes for different regions. But at the same time, don't try to dump us, say ArcelorMittal Global is not part of us. You are still part of ArcelorMittal company, and so make sure that we are still aligned together finally as one team. But at the same time, motivate. We want to motivate you, we want to reward you, we want to incentivize you, which may be very different the way we do it in the United States, or maybe the way we do it in Europe. So you please come up. There is one presentation which is always important to speak, and one thing that has always kept me focused to the difficult time is my belief in the value of steel in our lives every day. The reality is that ArcelorMittal is everywhere if you can't see it. The world is full of trains, cars, ships, submarines, bridges, buildings, tunnels, and all made with steel by ArcelorMittal. This is why we talk about our purpose being the fabric of life. It is easy to forget this because you are only looking at the bars and rods in your plants or the hot rolled coil, but you are not looking at what is the result of all this, what we are doing. Sometimes I remind the ladies that the material of your hairpin comes from our wire rod. sometimes I remind some people that even if you are doing everything the day-to-day life, everything, you will always find steel around you which you don't know. So here we have got some pictures of some of the buildings, some of the projects in Latin America, like the Tour Geneva, the highest building in Brazil, the Torre Reforma in Mexico City, Baluarte Bridge, the world's third longest bridge in Venezuela over the Orinoco, Maldonado steam project to prevent flooding in Buenos Aires, and World Cup stadiums for 2014, and Ford Focus. This is all Latin America, but apart from Latin America, we have so many different major projects in the world where we have participated. That is, and you know that we make steel for nuclear plants and we make steel for the ship. I was sitting one day with one of the largest cruise ship owner in one of my vacation, and he says, "Thank you very much for supplying steel to the largest cruise ship in the world." For me, I was not aware on that day. But it was so heartening to see that the guy who is building the ship knew that the steel has come from ArcelorMittal. But don't forget that there are so many other examples, and most important for me, personally, where I was very much involved was ArcelorMittal Orbit in Olympics, and where we could bring the steel from different plants around the world and establish something in perpetuity for the life. And everyone has admired ArcelorMittal, and this has brought a lot of prestige and pride in all the employees. Some of our employees also participated during the Olympics. I'm sure you are going to participate in the World Cup here and in Olympics here in 2014 and 2016. So all these are matters of pride for us as ArcelorMittal, the product what we make, the product what we supply, and where it is used. So we should really take pride in our organization. Take pride in what we do every day. Take pride in the product we make, and continue to stay motivated, engaged, even through the challenging times. Thank you very much. I thought I have already answered a lot of questions.
You might have done. But if anyone has a question, if you could just raise your hand.
I've been told that if you are afraid of questions and if you answer them in your speech, then you reduce the complexity of the questions. Okay, I'm ready here for some questions, and it's very interesting to hear your perspective and your comments. I think the answer should come from TK. What they have to say about Alabama. We have visited both the plants, CSA and Alabama. To say, what is TK doing on Alabama? There is a lot of discussions. You know that ArcelorMittal was interested, has been interested with Nippon Steel as a partner in Alabama. We don't know whether it will happen or not. We see some opportunity for us as ArcelorMittal. Maybe if we succeed, or if we conclude, if CSN does not succeed and if we succeed, then maybe you can sell more slabs from Tubarão. Maybe there are opportunities for US market. opportunities for Mexico market to supply slabs and maintain its presence in the high value added sophisticated products in America. I don't think I can say anything more than that. I don't know.
My name, I'm
I cannot hear you. Line is breaking.
Good morning, Mr. Milton. My name is Flávio. I'm in charge of IT and automation department at ArcelorMittal Tubarão. My question for you is, how do you perceive